Alright guys, so I've been waiting ever such a long time for these to arrive. So these are for anyone who's been living under a rock and who likes Mythic Battles Pantheon. These are the two newest expansions that were part of the Mythic Battles Pantheon 1.5 campaign. It was a short campaign that ran last year, but this is the new content from it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at Dionysus today, and then we'll look at Ymir. Maybe I might get this uploaded later today as well. But so what I'm going to do is going to show you the content in here, and then I'm going to go over a little bit of the history of Dionysus, kind of who he was and where he came from and that kind of thing. So let's have a look in here. I believe what we've got, actually, before we open it, so we've got one Dionysus miniature and a few of these little satyr guys that are carrying his wine for him. Right, so content wise we have 4 miniatures. We have Dionysus himself, who is very, very cool. And then we have 3 of these little, I believe they're satyrs, they're carrying wine, big jugs of wine. You see it sloshing out of the top there. Let's get 3 of those. Get the cards for them. So Dionysus gets 4 activations. And here are the little satyrs. This is the French version, but yeah. So that's cool. We get one punch board. One punch board. So interestingly, so here's something that's changed from Mythic Battles, the first campaign, to now, is that you don't get any stat clips in the box, in the expansion boxes. And I think they've been taken out of the other expansion boxes from the original stuff. But here we go. So that is all of his stats. He's got the block, bolster, and gem collector abilities. And there's all his other stats there. So this is cool. I like a lot. So if we give him a quick comparison in terms of the size of the miniature, so that's him next to Zeus. So there's it's a little bit smaller, but there you go. Right, so Dionysus. So once upon a time, there was a human woman called Semele. Now she works in a temple that was dedicated to the goddess Hera. Now Semele is quite an important character for what we're going to talk about. But her grandfather was a hero called Cadmus, and Cadmus is really important to Greek mythology because he is kind of one of the first earliest heroes. Who had quite a run-in with Ares, but I'm really surprised that he didn't appear in the Mythic Battles Pantheon game to date. But anyway, so she works in the temple, she's minding her own business, she's out and about. All of a sudden, a very striking young man wanders up to her. And it was this fella here. So Zeus, taking a liking to Semele, went and had a little look. And of course Zeus had his end away with her, so that left someone very unhappy. Hera. Now Hera, she's not just Zeus's wife. She's a god in her own right. She's actually Zeus's older sister. The most important thing for her is that she is the goddess of matrimony. So marriage rights and that kind of thing are very, very important to her. Now she knew what Zeus was up to, but she didn't know who he was up to it with. So what she did was she went along the banks of the oceans, the banks of the rivers near to where the temple was, she came across a nymph called Echo. So she got chatting away to this nymph. Now Echo was a complete and utter blabbermouth. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. She spoke to everyone about anything. And Hera knew this, but Echo, she did not say a word. She didn't say a word to Hera, and Hera had to actually sound her out a few times before she got to give up the information. So the reason she's called Echo is Hera cursed her with only being able to say the words that were being spoken to her. So if you went up to her and said, "Hello, Echo," she would just say, "Hello, Echo," back at you. She couldn't say anything else. She could only speak the words that were being spoken to her. So that's why she's called Echo. And I know she's got quite a mean stance here. It looks like she can scream to blow the trees down and that kind of thing, but she's not. She's just the water nymph in mythology. Now, when Hera caught up with Semele, she disguised herself as an old woman, and she said, "Oh, who's that young man you've been with?" She said, "Oh, don't tell anyone, but it's Zeus. Zeus, the king of the gods, would you believe?" And so Hera, dressed as the old woman, said, "No, don't be silly. Was it Zeus? What do you think? Is he telling you that he is Zeus?" And Semele's completely taken in by it. So he said, "Right, if he is a god, then you get him to show you his true form." And he said, "Well, of course he's Zeus. Like, why wouldn't he?" He said, "Look, if he's Zeus, he will show you his true form." So Semele, next time she saw Zeus, she said to him, "I've got something to ask you. And when I ask you, you must promise that you will do as I ask." And he said, "Yeah, okay. Anything, Semele, anything for you, no problem." He says, "I want you to show me your true form as a god." He said, "But I can't do that." Zeus knew that if she saw him as his true form, it would be too much for her to take. It would burn her, it would make her blood boil, it would kill her instantly. But he had made the promise. He promised to show her, and he did, and it killed her almost instantly. But when she died, she left behind a small, tiny fetus. And Zeus sliced open his thigh and put the fetus inside and grew the baby in his leg. And then a few months later, this guy was born, Dionysus. So he's the god of many different things, but mainly of winemaking and of fertility. So, and as you can see, he likes to party hard. So that's a little bit about Dionysus and kind of where he's from and that kind of thing. So I will probably be doing more unboxings of the rest of the stuff because I went all in for the new expansions and the old expansions for Mythic Battles Pantheon 1.5. So if you want to hear more about the history of the gods and that kind of thing, let me know and I will do a similar thing for those unboxings as well. But there you go. So that's that. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you later.